everybody, welcome to another episode of Graduating Without a Plan. This lighting's crazy, my hair is crazy, my voice is crazy. I had to wait for my parents to go out. They finally went out to dinner and left the house tonight, which is great because I needed time to privately record this episode by myself because, God forbid, my father hear me curse from the other room. He would come in like a whirling dervish. Yeah, my hair's just crazy because that's what it is. And my voice is crazy because I had the most insane 48 hours this weekend. Similar to last week. Last week I had an insane 48 hours because my dog was like dying and playing dead. We don't even know what the frick happened with her to this day. She's fine though, for the record. She's doing great. But I don't know. Actually, it's funny. This all kind of comes full circle because last week I also talked about how I used to have like borderline manic episodes, or really the question was, are they manic episodes or am I just a really fun and interesting person? And I felt very similarly this week because oh my gosh. Okay, so let me just dive right in, y'all. Let me just tell you what was going on. So, started out Friday, Saturday, I sang, my normal working days. I did a double on Saturday, so I was off Sunday, and I had known I was going to be off Sunday for a while, and one of my friends, my very good friend, his name is Q, okay, I have to give the backstory. So, some of y'all maybe from TikTok. I don't know who's watching this podcast, by the way. If you're watching this and sleuthing, just comment and say hello so I know. Because, I know I post these podcasts hoping people will listen. But when I ask my friends, they're like, oh, I haven't listened to it. So who's doing it? Is it you? Just admit it. Show yourself, Show yourself. Okay. So, anyway, I be on TikTok, as we know. I be posting, I be whatever, networking. And there's this one guy on TikTok, his name is Curt, and lives upstate New York, and he does kind of like a bluegrass country. I don't even know what the heck he's doing, but it's very good. And we started following each other a while ago, at least 6 months, maybe a year ago. I don't even know. And I don't know how. I don't know who followed who or who found who. But we've been following each other mutually, and I loved his music. I sent it to my friend Q because I was like, you would really like this. Because, okay, Q, short for Quentin. Quentin is one of those people who he worked in HVAC for 1 year, and he's like, I'm blue collar. No, you're not, Quentin. You work for the government now. Wait, I love roasting Q. This is one of my favorites. I roast him whatever. I'm mean to Q. What? I might be mean to him, but he's one of the people who listens to Zach Bryan, now drives a truck, has a cowboy hat. He's like, I've been this vibe since 2014. I'm like, Quentin, you were 10 years old in 2014. What do you mean? I love making fun of him. But anyway, so I was like, you would love Curt. So I sent him one of Curt's songs. And naturally, he fell in love, and he knew every word to all of his songs. And I was like, I know, right? He's kind of... So, fast forward a couple of months, I guess he had followed Curt on Instagram, and he sent me this flyer and was like, Curt's going to be playing at a brewery in Hudson. We should go. And it happened to be the Sunday that I was off. So I was like, well, this is kind of meant to be. All right. So for 2 months or whatever, we had in our heads that we were going to go. So in my head, I was thinking of Hastings-on-Hudson. And if you know New York State, Hastings-on-Hudson is 30 minutes outside the city. A lot of people live there and commute to the city. That's where I thought it was because I've been there before. And I was like, that's not far. That's whatever. Let's go. It was in Hudson, New York, which is very close to Albany, which is roughly 4 hours from my house. So we get in the car on Sunday. We're all gussied up, ready to go, cowboy hats on, scooting boots on. And we put it in the GPS, and I'm like, I don't think we're going to the place we thought. And we were like, And it was one of those moments where you had to make the decision. Am I going to be a crackhead and drive 4 hours for a brewery concert? Or am I just going to be like, you know what? It wasn't what we thought. We're not going to go. And we fucking put the pedal to the metal and we went. Of course, again, I brought my mother because she comes to all of these things and enables my wackadoo-ness. But I'm so happy we went because there were so many like notable experiences from this. One being that it was literally in like a brewery, very similar to places that I play at. So I was like, okay, I'm right at home. I haven't drank heavily in almost a year because last Lent I gave up alcohol, and I was just like, after I gave it up for like that month or so, I was like, you know what, let me see how long I can go without it. And also I got out of a lot of the habits I had with drinking, so I just wasn't drinking that much. But I was like, we just drove 4 hours. My mom's driving home. Like, let's see how much beer I can get down the chute before we have to leave. I think I topped off at 6, which I didn't know I still had it in me. And the worst part, or the best part, was that I felt completely fine the next day. Like, I woke up raring to go, which I'll get to later. But upstate is such a magical place because I had been there also last year, not to Hudson, but to a place in that area. I was visiting one of my cousins, or is it even in that area? It might not even be close, but it was like 4 hours upstate in that direction. And it was by Woodstock. And I had gone to see a music festival called Catbird, and it was a folk music festival. And I really went to see Tyler Childers, or Childers, whatever you want to call it. And it was a magical, magical concert. That's like a whole side note. But also like the Lumineers were there, who I didn't expect to see. Unreal in person. Like, if you're a Lumineers fan, which I actually am, I didn't realize that I was actually obsessed with the Lumineers until they started playing. And I was like, wait, I know every single song, and every single one of these songs I also have a deep and emotional connection to it too. So, but I think you get desensitized when you hear the Lumineers because they're so are they commercial? Like, they're just so mainstream in a way that when you hear it, you just kind of hear like their song. But the guy's voice who sings is exactly the same in real life, which is what was so jarring. Like, and what was so crazy about, like, he started singing, and I was like, did they just put the fucking album on? Because it sounds so clean and pure. And the next time you listen to a Lumineer song, listen to the guy's voice, and just in your head, imagine if it sounded like this in real life, how would you feel? Because that's, whatever. Complete side note. But the point was, when I went up there, I saw that I love upstate. Because a lot of times when people think of upstate New York, they kind of think of the Boondocks. They're like, nothing's really here. And, like, you have the Adirondacks, maybe, like, George, but, like, everything else is kind of, like, colleges and, like, field. And to be fair, I kind of felt that way for a long time, too. And there is truth to that. However, there's a really beautiful underground community aspect that's very country. That's very, like, how do I explain it? Like, think about it like this. Technically, the Appalachian region goes all the way to upstate New York. It starts or ends in New York State, upstate New York. So, like, when you think of, like, Appalachian people, like, in West Virginia, and, like, that kind of southern, it's not southern, it's Appalachian. Like, an Appalachian person. You have some of that in upstate New York. And when I had went to this Tyler Childers concert, blah, 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 to see my cousin, blah, 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 that time last year, I had gone to a farmer's market, and it changed my entire perspective because I just walked around, and there was, like, a kid who was my age who was selling cider that he makes. He works in an orchard and makes cider. Okay. I was like, okay, I could talk to you for 7 hours about this. I go to the next person. She has like a beehive. She has raw honey. The next person, she goes and forages mushrooms and makes tinctures. Like, all of these people I could have talked to for hours about their hobby or / business / whatever. And it kind of got me thinking, like, in my core, I'm kind of an upstate girly. Like, I am granola. I am kind of hippie. I am kind of like, whatever. You know what I mean? Like, I am a folk bluegrass girly deep down, though my accent is Long Island to the core, and, culturally, I'm Italian, and yada, yada, yada. All of my interests really are, like, upstate interests. I don't know. So I came home and I felt really discouraged because I thought to myself, wow, what you realize when you're down here or when you come back down here is that, or at least I did, that a lot of people I was friends with, I actually had nothing in common with other than the fact that we lived on Long Island and we would do things together. Like, we would go to the bar together, or we'd go get drinks and appetizers together, and we'd talk shit together. But I didn't have a girl to forage with, I didn't have someone to call and be like, I don't know, do you want to go hiking in the Adirondacks this weekend, or do you want to, like, whatever? I mean, all my friends are, like, teachers or, like, cops or, like, they're just doing normal things. Like, no one's making cider. Like, so it got me really thinking about also how culturally isolated I have been really my entire life, which is something I realized, like I said in the first episode of this podcast, when I first went to college, how kind of isolated I was. But it really opened my eyes once I went even as close as upstate New York, how if you're not happy where you are, there is a place where you are happy. You know what I mean? And if you feel like you don't have friends where you're at because you're like, we don't really have anything in common, or I don't really have fun, there are people that you actually would have fun with. Does this make sense? Okay. Anyway, side note aside, we went to this thing. And we were swing dancing to bluegrass music. We were singing all of Curt's songs. We met Curt's mom. We met his grandma. We met his friend. And what was really weird was this 3-degree of separation shit, because turns out that Curt went to the same school as a couple of my, like, high school friends, and his other friend from that same school was there. And I'm like, what are the odds that you would know these people? Do you know what I mean? Like, what? Ooh, this lighting's kind of slay. It's a little too intense for a podcast, but what's better, this, where it's just getting my fucking nose? It's just highlighting my most undesirable feature. Ugh, I hate this. Why couldn't my parents have just gone out at, like, I don't know, 10 a.m.? I can't. So we're just going to be really dramatic for the rest of the podcast with this lighting. I'm just going to be like, dramatic. So, anyway, so we had, like, this fantastic time. And it just goes to show that, sometimes, even though things are maybe a little, like, did I love driving 4 hours? No. Did I love driving 4 hours home? No. Is it one of those things that when I looked at the GPS, I considered, maybe we just shouldn't go? Like, maybe we just don't go. Yeah, but what else was I gonna fucking do that day, right? Go home. Right, there's two options. It's either, all right, you drive a little, but you make an adventure out of it and you go. Or you don't, and what do? You go back home. You sit in your house. Like, we gotta get out of the habit of doing that. Like, why are we always trying to bail on plans? This generation loves to bail on plans because you're tired, or you don't feel like driving, or you don't feel like, whatever. Like, go fucking live your life. You know what I mean? So, if we hadn't, we would have missed out on such a fun day. But anyway, so if you like country bluegrass music, check out Curt Buchan. I don't know how to say his name. Buchan, Burchan. He's really good. Go to a damn show or whatever when he's playing. He's, like, moving to Montana next week, but when he gets back, go to a show, and maybe I'll go too. Hit me up, I'll be there. Even if it's 10 hours away, let's go. I feel like there was so much more I could have said about this, but I feel like I'd be spilling other people's tea. Like, yeah, like, there's drama with Q is dramatic. BFF Q, he's dramatic. He just always finds himself in situations that are, like, dramatic, but he's funny. I can't spill his tea, though. I can't spill his tea. Okay, so moving on. Moving on, right? I kind of going back to what we were saying before. Drank 6 beers, came home, went to sleep, woke up. I had tickets to a ski Aggu concert, or Aggu, as the Germans would say, and he's a German techno rapper, okay? I had tickets to his concert at 7 o'clock p.m. the next day. So I was like, because I was nervous going to sleep, to be honest, on Sunday night. Because keep in mind, this was a Sunday and Monday. I was concerned that I'd be hungover and I wouldn't be ready for ski, right? I wake up spry. I wake up high on life. I'm like, I had a great day. I am so happy. Because, I always say alcohol is a spiritual experience because it basically just opens your floodgates. Like when you drink alcohol, it takes your inhibitions down. It takes away your insecurities and you just open your heart, right? So if you have a great time, you get filled with love. And then at the end of the night, when your chest closes back up and you sober up, you feel good. But you ever drink and then you have like a bad experience or the vibes are weird or like someone breaks your heart or something and then it gets all this bad energy and then you feel horrible the next day. You just feel anxiety and ridiculous. That happened. But I didn't. I felt great. I felt super happy. I was so happy that we got to see Curt. I was so happy that we got to just have this upstate experience and swing dancing with all these random people. And I was pumped because Ski Aggu is high key, like is my top 5 artists at the moment. Which is really interesting because my music range is actually ridiculous. Like how I got onto German techno rap is beyond me. I'm not really even sure. I tell people, like when they ask, I say it was because my sister is engaged to a German guy, but the truth is I'm pretty sure I found ski on TikTok too. But I don't want to say that. I don't want to be like TikTok. People are gonna think I'm like on TikTok all day long. It's just like whatever. So my sister is supposed to come to this concert with me. I'm not going to talk about it. But she bailed. Do I forgive her? No. Are we going to talk about it? No. So here I am calling around 3 hours before this concert. And I'm like buzzed on life. And I'm like, somebody's got to come. Because now I'm freaking out. Because I could go by myself. But do I want to? No. I don't want to lose the money for the ticket and whatever. I managed to beg my cousin to go. He shows up because he's a trooper, okay? He is like the king, Evan. We go to this concert. I am wearing a ski mask in a full tracksuit, floral tracksuit. And we are one of the only Americans there. We get on the bathroom line and a German guy next to us is like, says to somebody, he goes, "Are you German?" And they go, "No." And he goes, "Why are you here? Well, how do you like Ski Aggu? Ski Aggu. How do you like ski?" And we were like, "Oh my God, they're gonna come after us. We're not American. We're American," And then I talked to another girl, and she was like, "No, like, we don't mean it in a mean way. We just really want to know. Like, we sound aggressive, but we really don't." I was like, all right, whatever. So anyways, we go, we're hiding the fact that we're American. We're like, I feel like I'm an imposter. Like I have imposter syndrome being at this concert. But I'm a real fan, okay? I'm there in a ski mask. Like what did they... So we run into this other kid who is also American. He's with his mom. His mom looks 22. She's like, I'm 37. I'm like, okay. I'm taken aback by that, but we run. So this kid is 17. So I said to him, "Do you want to get to the front?" Because not to brag or whatever, but I have a special tendency or special magical powers where somehow I always end up in the front of the crowd. Like if I want to be up front, I get to the barricade every single time. And half of that is because I play drunk. Like I'll drink a little bit and I'll have like just the audacity to do whatever. And I'll just kind of stumble around and be like, "Oh my God, excuse me." And people just think I'm going to throw up on them. So they just move. Or, when people start jumping is when you kind of you jump in the direction you want to go and somehow you get put, whatever. There's a lot of strategies to do this. But that particular day, a lot of people were being very judgmental and bitchy, which I didn't appreciate. You know, they give you that look. They're like you kind of move past them and they give you that like, okay, bitch kind of look. And I'm like, you know what? Fuck you. Like, wait. Wait, I'm actually going to be nice. I'm actually not going to get crazy. But I was like, fuck you. Like, I'm going to get to the front. I'm going to see Ski. I want to see Ski. I'm going to see Ski. That's it. So I needed a different strategy, though, clearly, because the drunk girl wasn't going to work, because everyone was, there's at least 10 bitches out there right now who hate me for the times that I have either earnestly been drunk and fallen on them or pretended to be, right? So I don't care. It's the name of the game. I find this kid, his name's Ricky and his mom, and Ricky is 17 years old. So I was like, they're going to let Babyface do whatever he wants, but I'm going to pretend that I'm his sister so that when he advances in the crowd, I can be like, that's my brother. I have to get to him, which is exactly what we did. So I lost my cousin halfway through because I went into the mosh pit pretty early on. I don't know what ended up happening with him. I saw him at the end. However, me and Ricky hit that mosh pit. And eventually, when people started jumping, I physically pushed Ricky through the crowd. And I was like, get to the front. And he goes to the front. And then I was like, oh my gosh, that's my brother. And people are like, oh, okay, go ahead. This one guy, he was like, I was standing in front of him. I had moved in front of him, and he was like, said to my cousin, he goes, are you staying here? Because we are here. What are you doing here? We are here. You cannot stay here. And I said, oh, my brother's over there. This is my cousin. We're just gonna, don't worry. And he goes, oh, good luck. And I was like, you know what? Fuck you. German people are so blunt. Like, he wasn't even being mean. He was just like genuinely like, are you gonna move or no? But I'm just like, oh, they have the audacity. American people, at least, like, they're cuntier, but you feel less bad being cunty back. Do you know what I mean? Like, if you push around an American girl and she's like, excuse me, you're like, fuck you, bitch, please move, thanks. Whereas a German, they're like, we are here, are you going to move? And you're like, oh, sorry. Like, you know, you feel, whatever. Is any of this following? I feel like I'm punch drunk still because it's like I'm sleep exhausted for the whatever. We get to the front. Guys, it was, first of all, one of the best concerts I've ever been to. So much fun. Ski is crazy. He is so fun. But 2, just everything that I could have asked for to happen happened. And I got 90% of it on footage. 1 being that he was literally inches from us. For a majority of the concert, I was looking up, which was like, you know, because I don't think y'all know, I'm actually an insane fangirl 90% of the time. I am like, so I was beside myself, right? All I could think of was all the days of me driving to Planet Fitness blasting like freezing jung. I don't even speak German. I just know the vibes, right? I don't know the words. I just know the vibes. And I was like, damn, I'm really here, you know? And keep in mind, I never thought I was going to ever see him live because I never thought he would actually come to America because he's pretty big in Germany, but he's not, you know, I don't know. Obviously, he's big enough to have come here, but his main audience is Germany. So I never thought I'd actually get to see him live, you know. The man not only, okay, so many stories to unpack. 1, he literally sat down next to me, turned around towards his friend who was on stage to take a photo. So somewhere out there, he has not posted it yet, but somewhere out there, I am front and center, holding Ski Aggu's arm and taking a group photo. Okay, 1. But I'm acting calm now. I was beside my fucking self, okay? 2, shortly after, he went into he jumped into the crowd and was like, I'm gonna start a mosh pit. Again, I take Ricky by like the back of the shoulders, I push him in, and I am then all of a sudden find myself front and center in this mosh pit, standing directly arm's length across from Ski. The beat drops. He goes 1, 2, 3. He starts jumping. A kid, and when I say a kid, I meant a guy, comes up from behind him, running, slams him into me, who catches him. The girl next to me goes down like a freaking, I don't even know. She just drops to the damn floor. Ski, it's like, stop everything, like, and like grabs her because he thought she was going to get trampled. And I think he quick was like, I got to get up back on stage because this is crazy. So I have a video of Ski Aggu running into my arms. Not only that, today, as I was scrolling through looking for that group photo, we find a German news network reporting this concert, and there is a video of me on German news catching Ski in the mosh pit. Literally me just catching Ski and falling. Granted, you cannot see my face because I'm wearing a ski mask, and it is a very blurry, crazy video, but I did screenshot it, and it's just like us falling together. Which I was like, and he's like he's one of those guys, I think, like, he gets a little nervous with girls. Like, I think he's not trying to catch a case because, like, he was all over Ricky, right? He was all over Ricky, but, like, me, I think the girls, he was like, don't touch me. Like, first of all, his girlfriend was the opener, so I think he was like, don't touch me. But I just thought he was so cool, though. Oh my God, he was so cool. I always get like this fear that I'm an embarrassment, and I'm like, oh my God, Ski Aggu hates me. Like, I probably looked embarrassing. He probably, but it was the best. And then my cousin was like in the car already, so I ran out to go meet him at the end of the concert. Turns out Ski was taking pictures with people at the freaking merch stand. And I missed out on that, and I will never forget that, and I will be pissed for the rest of my life. However, this lighting's so much better. I should have been closer. What is the lighting? But he is going to be back next May. I'm already buying tickets, so I will get my picture with you, Ski. I will not die until I get this fucking photo with you. I love you, okay? So anyway. So that's how I got on German news. But okay, this was just one of my strange celebrity encounters. I've had a lot of them kind of in my life, a couple of really good ones. One of them being the last concert I went to, and this is one of those things that you have to listen to. My friend's episode, my friend Michelle has an episode about this on her podcast called Laugh Often with Michelle. It was about the time that I met Jake Bugg. And Jake Bugg is another top 5, but he's one. He's number 1. He's my biggest musical inspiration. He's the love of my life. I can't even express to you what Jake Bugg means to me, right? Whatever. I had gone to his concert about 6 months ago in New York City. He was playing at a venue in, I don't even know where, I forgot the name of the place. But it was like a medium size. It wasn't huge. And that was another place. I got to the front. I was freaking out. He was like sweating on me basically. And that was like enough for me to die happy. I leave the venue and I'm just standing outside on the sidewalk because my mom was like, oh, I have to go to the bathroom. And I'm like, oh, the bathroom line is so long. Like, can we hurry up? So she was like, okay. So I'm standing outside on the sidewalk waiting for my mom to go to the bathroom. She comes out. We're standing there for like 30 seconds. And then we see his guitar player come out, Jake's guitar player. So naturally, I was like, oh my God, like, can we go talk to Jake's guitar player? 10 seconds after that, Jake Bugg walks out onto the sidewalk wearing a puffer vest and smoking a cigarette. And I was like, oh my God. So naturally, I have my shirt that says Jake Bugg on it. I literally mouth open and like it was like a reaction I couldn't even, I was just, and my mom, she was like, you have to go talk to him. And I was like, I think I can't. And she was like, I think if you don't, you will never forget this. You will never forgive yourself. And I was like, that's so true. So Jake actually looked, and I will die on this hill, he saw me. And he came over to me. And I think it was because my mouth was wide open. And I think he was like, oh, God, let me just get this over with. Because this bitch isn't leaving until I get the photo. But he came over to me. And oh, my gosh, he was so sweet. And granted, our conversation was very brief because my brain went blank. My brain actually just stopped working. There was a million things that I've wanted to say to him in my life. A million things I could have said. I could have given him my card with my music on it. I could, like, so many things I could have done. And I just, like, he went to go hug me. He was like, hi, nice to meet you. And I was like, I put my hand out. I was like, can I shake your hand? Like, and I meant in the sense, like, that, like, I was like, you have been my greatest inspiration. Like, can I just shake your hand? And he was like, yeah. And I'm like, he was trying to hug me and I just shook his hand. Number one mistake, right? Number one. Never gonna live this down. So many regrets. So, yeah, shook his hand. And then I said something along the lines of, you know, I sing for a living now because of you. And he was like, oh, really? That's great. And I was like, yeah. And I said, you know, and I think my mom was like, can she get a picture? And he was like, yeah, totally. So we go to pose for this picture. And I was like, you were great, by the way. And he was like, thank you. And then we take this photo. It comes out adorable. And I just turned to him and I'm like, thank you so much. Like, because I didn't want to keep him because I figured maybe other people want to take photos or he didn't want to talk. But he looked like he wasn't really going anywhere. Do you know what I mean? Like, if I had said, like, anything else, I think he would have talked to me for a minute. And my mom always says, she's like, I think if you asked Jake Bugg what he was doing after the show and if he wanted to get drinks, he would have said yes. Because he really was just hanging out. So I should have just been like, what's your plans for that? Are you, like, hanging out, exploring the city? Like, I actually sometimes want to cry when I think about it because I get so upset. Why did I get out? So anyway, yeah, and then I think I shook his hand again. I shook his hand goodbye. I think he went to hug me again, and then I shook his hand. Because I panicked. And I just said, like, thank you so much. And he was like, oh, good luck with the singing. Good luck with the singing, by the way. You know how we do? And I was like, thank you so much. And granted, I didn't elaborate. Like, I didn't say, yeah, like, because he was probably like, really, you're a singer? I've never heard of you. Like, and I should have said, like, yeah, I sing at, like, all the local spots, and, like, out on Long Island. But, like, I really just could have said so much, and my brain went blank. So we walked down the street. I felt like I played it really cool. Like, I was just very casual and nice and whatever. And we turned the corner, and I started screaming. And to the point where the people across the street were like, oh my God, they rushed over and they were, are you okay? And I said, I just mentioned that. And they were like, what the fuck? So that was magical too. Oh my God. Like, but again, another moment where I was like, I just got so lucky. Like, I couldn't have asked for a more ideal experience other than the fact that I fuck up every single time because I don't know how to get my shit together. I also met Cody Simpson's sister, Allie. If you know Cody Simpson, he's an Australian singer. This is actually a really crazy story. Okay, let me just lock in here. So this is the story of when I was supposed to meet Cody Simpson at, wait. What was it? How was I? I was 14. Okay. This is the time that I want to count. Okay, I'm trying to say this in one fell swoop and I'm fucking up. I won a contest to meet Cody Simpson at age 14, but never actually met him. And this is the story of that. Okay, so when I was 14 years old, J14 magazine had a contest to meet Cody Simpson. And the prize was that we were going to have a guitar lesson, have a guitar lesson in LA. I entered 147 times. I entered with my email, my mom's email, my sister's email, and my dad's. And there was like a cap that I think you could enter 4 times per day per email. And you had to watch like a series of ads per entry. So I would sit there for like an hour a day entering this contest because I wanted to win it so bad. I was obsessed with him. I had a fan account. I had gone to concerts of hit, all this crazy shit. I was dead. If you ever heard the fan account Spreading Simpson, that was me on Instagram. Okay. Let's get that out of the way. So what happened? Wait, what? Yeah. So I ended up winning the contest. I have a video of me somewhere out there on my other laptop. One day I will have to share that of me when I found out. My sister and my mom filmed me because I was hyperventilating, because this is 2014, right? This is when I was 14 years old. I was prime fangirl age. I was the hypest fangirl I'd ever been. I don't regret it at all. It was the time of my life. I wish that I could get that happy about things again. Like, I haven't felt that level of joy since then. I just either don't think it exists, or like my antidepressant, I just can't, right? So there's that. What ended up happening was I was supposed to meet him in LA. They were going to fly, J14 Magazine was going to fly me out to LA, and I was going to get a guitar lesson with him. At that time, I was really sick. I was like, I had my childhood illness, so I really couldn't fly. But I knew, because I was like a huge fan and stalking him, that he was very frequently in New York during that time, and that he was going to be back in New York like within the next couple of months. So my mom had actually called, because once you win, they just kind of give you an email of a event coordinator or whatever, and you can basically just call or email them like normal people. And my mom had, I guess, gotten on the phone with one of them and asked, like, can we arrange that she meets him here? And they were like, yeah, that's like even better for us, because we don't have to pay to fly you out. So we're happy to do that. So they ended up arranging something to happen in New York City. However, Cody ended up going on Dancing with the Stars. So it was going to be pushed back like 6 months, which I didn't care, because I was willing to wait forever. But it was in like October that they told me this. Cody, or his publicist or whoever, sent me a box of merchandise, like a giant box filled with like $300 worth of merch. I got it on Halloween day. I opened it. There's another video of me out there when I open it, losing my mind beyond belief. I think I'm going to post it. Like, I'm just going to post it on my YouTube account, and you guys can check it out if you want. Losing my mind beyond belief, hyperventilating, and then, even better, I get to the bottom of the box. It's a card. I open it, and it says, "To Emily, like, looking forward to meeting you, from Cody Simpson." And it really was signed by him. I get chills. I get chills now. When I tell you, I have not recovered from that. Like, there has never been a peak. I have never felt a level of joy so high since then. Moving forward. So they ended up then rescheduling the prize to sometime in January of that year. And it was now upgraded it was a guitar lesson, it was a concert tickets, because he was having a concert in New York, which is why they moved it to that date. Concert tickets, dinner together, like a whole thing. So basically it was like I was just going to get backstage passes and we were going to hang out, is what it was. So I prepped for this for months, right? The whole month of December leading up to it, I was getting my nails done. I got my hair done. I got my eyebrows done. I still had braces. I was devastated, but I was practicing how to do my makeup. I went on a shopping spree. I got an outfit picked out. I was so ready. I was like, I'm going to meet my husband, so I need to be ready for this, right? Meanwhile, looking back at pictures, thank God I didn't meet him, because I was still like a wreck. I mean, it was cute, but I was like, oh God. The day comes along in January. It was a historic blizzard, right? Historic. They sent a limo to come get me. The limo company calls me and is like, we cannot physically get to you. The roads are closed. The snow is 2 feet high. we actually can't get to you. So we can't get you to the concert. So I'm panicking. I'm like saying like to my mom, like, can we just drive in? Can we take the train? Can we do? The trains were shut down. The roads were like, I actually could not physically get there. And there was just nothing we could do. So my mom gets on the phone with the publicist again. And she's explaining the situation. This girl is like stationed in California. So she's like, I don't even know what this is like. But she said, unfortunately, he's changing management like this year. So we no longer have contractual control over him. So we can't reschedule it. Like, it's done. So I was beside myself, right? Like, I was like, how could this be? And they said, listen, we're just going to send you the prize money equivalent. And so they sent me $2,500. At that time, I was like, there's no amount of money that could ever replace this experience. Like, and to be honest, I stand by that because I think that experience for me at that time would have been literally priceless. But it just clearly wasn't meant to be. So for the next couple of years after that, once I got a little bit older, because I never spent the money. I was 14 years old. I just kept it in my, they sent it to me in $500 vanilla gift cards. So I wouldn't have to pay taxes on it, right? Because it was like a prize. So I had these $500 vanilla gift cards, and I used to go around, like, once I started underage drinking at like 18, I used to go around and buy alcohol with those cards because they weren't credit cards. They didn't have my name on it. So I used to go around and I used to say to my friends, like, this round's on Cody Simpson. Beep. Or like, yeah, I just used to do reckless shit with that money. And that's what happened. So I never actually met him. However, my friend had this really weird connection to him. Her dad somehow, he works in advertising or something, somehow was affiliated with him. He was on a Skype call with Cody Simpson and his dad over COVID. We call in. I said to her dad, I was like, please, I will do anything. Just let me join the call. And he was like, okay. So he let me join this call. I get on this call. I'm like, hello? And they were like, hey, like, what the fuck is she doing, And I was like, oh my God, like, his dad was looking like, who the fuck is this girl? Cody was so nice. He goes, hey, we're sitting outside because it's COVID, right, my friend and I. So we're sitting, like, apart from each other outside. And he's like, hey, guys, like, how are you doing? I see you guys are in New York. And we're like, yeah. Like, I have this tendency when I meet people, like celebrities, that I freeze. So my friend, she was, like, doing the talking for me because she saw, like, I could not. So I was like, yeah, hi. Oh my gosh, I've been waiting forever to meet you. And he was like, oh, like, thanks, Meanwhile, I have this whole story of how I really was supposed to meet him that I should have told him, right? Like, I had all this great lore that I had a fan account. I had all this shit that I could have told him about. I've met his sister. I met his mom. Like, why did I not say any of that, right? So I literally, so I just was like, and so he goes, oh, you guys are sitting outside. It really looks nice out. Like, how is it over in New York? And I just said, yeah, we have really nice trees. And he was like, nice. He was probably like, this bitch is, oh my God. So and keep in mind, I knew about this call. I had makeup on. I did my hair. And I was like, like, stupid. So I still never met Cody Simpson. Cody Simpson, if you're out there and you're watching this, I know that you're in Australia or like in the Olympics or something, but if you're ever back in America or New York State, can you please hit me up? Like, it's meant to happen, And that's that. Also, tell Allie I love her because I met her and I choked there too. When I met her at your concert in New York, again, I can't even remember the name of that place that we were at because I've seen him 3 times. I've seen him at least 3 times. Or 2. Was it 2? Maybe it was just twice. But was it at Mercury Lounge maybe? It might have been at Mercury Lounge. But I saw her and I went up to her and I was like, again, literally like open mouth, like, huh? And she was like, hey, like, do you want a picture? And I was like, yes, I do. So, she was lovely too. I did the same thing to Ralph Macchio. The list just goes on and on. It just goes on and on. I did it to Ralph Macchio too. Ralph Macchio lives very, very close to my house. He lives on Long Island. He's a New York boy. Like, everybody knows that. Back way before Cobra Kai happened, I was a Ralph Macchio fan. It was more of a hyperfixation than even a fan. I just thought it was so fascinating that he lived on Long Island that I was like, I have to stalk and hunt him. I ended up finding him at a car, so before I found out the car show, my mom found him at Michael's, the craft store. She got a picture with him, and he was like, oh my God, please don't post that. It's so ugly. I immediately posted it because I was like, how could I have missed this? His daughter, I ran into his daughter in Stop and Shop. I also matched with his daughter's boyfriend, or ex-boyfriend, on Tinder. Did I ever tell this story? I feel like I did. But that was a whole other thing. It was after they broke up, but I was just fucking weird for that. But anyway, then I ran into him, it was like, I kept hearing he was going to be places, like at this boating regala, at this, and this, and this. I kept going, and I never saw him. Finally, I run into him at a car show. He ties the Karate Kid headband on my head. I cried. People were laughing at me, and they were like, looking at me, and they're like, you're a young girl. Like, Ralph Macchio was popular in the 80s. How do you even know about him? I'm like, you don't understand. Like, this is just like a hyperfixation. Like, I love Ralph Macchio, right? Fast forward a couple of years, Cobra Kai comes out. He has a whole resurgence. Everyone loves him again. All the young people know him again. So I was kind of like, I was way ahead of this. I had the picture way before anyone knew he was going to, like, blow back up, you know? So maybe I inspired him. Maybe he was like, actually, maybe I do have a younger audience that I should be tapping into. Like, I don't know. And then, of course, after that, I ran into him, like, everywhere. I saw him at a restaurant, like, shortly after, and, like, then I find out this friend knows him, this friend, like, so it's like, I actually found out I met him when I was really young at a pool party next door. So, I met him when I was, like, 3 years, whatever. So, I've had a lot of weird celebrity encounters. None of them went well. Hopefully, if I ever meet Cody, then, you know, I can turn things around. But until then, you know. And next year, I'm getting a picture with Ski. And next time I see Jake Bugg, because I've manifested that. So that's happening indefinitely. I'm going to have note cards. Like, if I ever go to a concert, when I go to another Jake Bugg concert and I meet him, or when I get famous and I meet Jake Bugg at a red carpet event, I'm going to have a letter in my pocket ready to give to him, because we just can't stand for this twice, you know. Anyway, the lighting has changed drastically. That's, I guess, what happens at 7:46 when the sun sets. Anyway, guys, stream Curt Buchan, or however you say his name. Go to a Ski Aggu concert, and hit me up if you're Cody Simpson, Jake Bugg, or Ralph Macchio. Anyway, have a great week, guys. Actually, have a great 2 weeks, because you know I'll never be able to get this shit done in one. Okay.